Came 3.5 hours from Tampa in the pouring rain all day. Got here, set up for a couple of hours, and when we're done, it'll be another couple of hours knocking down. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Keith Coleman's tribute to Johnny Cash, the Man in Black.
Hello, I'm Johnny Cash. I hear that trailer coming, rolling around the bend. I ain't seen the sunshine since I don't know when. I'm stuck in Folsom Prison, I keep dragging on. That trailer keeps rolling on down the side and cold. I was just a baby, my mama told me, John, always be a good boy, never play with guns. I shot a man in Reno, just to watch him die. That train keeps rolling, I hang my head and cry. From some fancy dining car, probably drinking coffee and smoking big cigars. I know I had it coming, I know I can be free. That train keeps rolling, that's what tortures me. Of mine, probably moving on a little far down the line, far from Folsom Prison, that's where I want to stay. I've let that lonesome whistle blow my blues away. Thank you very much, I'm Johnny Cash. What a good-looking bunch of people here. Well, my name is really Keith Coleman. I get to do my favorite thing in the whole world. That's a tribute to the great Johnny Cash, the only human on the planet Earth inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, Country Music Hall of Fame, Songwriter Hall of Fame, and Folk Music Hall of Fame. Elvis only made it into 2 of those. Johnny Cash got his start down in Memphis, Tennessee, along with Jerry Lee Lewis, Carl Perkins, Roy Orbison. What's that? Oh, Elvis wasn't it, guys? Yeah, that Sun Records was quite a place. I tell you what, the problem with Memphis was, though, there's nowhere you could play live. If you wanted to play live, you had to go all the way down to the Louisiana Hayride. That's the first time that Johnny Cash ever got to see Elvis actually play live, was at the Louisiana Hayride, and he was very impressed with Elvis. He was so impressed with Elvis, he wrote a special song just for Elvis. But also working at the Louisiana Hayride was a young lady that was working as a comedian down there. Her name was June Carter. Yeah, she usually sings with the Carter family, but she was opening the show for several big acts down there, and Johnny Cash took quite a shine to her, and he found out that Elvis had sent her a love note. He decided he wasn't going to give that song to Elvis. He was going to keep it for himself. It's a good thing he did, because he made a pile of money out of it. And this is the song I'm talking about right here. That rhythm, if you got the blues, get rhythm. If you the blues. Only talking about a diamond shoe, $2 million good for you, get rhythm. If you got the blues, shoe shine boy will never get down. You got the dirtiest job in town, bending over the people's feet, the windy corner of the windy street. After when he shine my shoes out, getting the blues. Friend, let he shook his little head, pop the shoe shine rag. There said, get rhythm. You got the blues, get rhythm. You got the blues. Jump in rhythm, make the beat so fine. She called the trouble from your weird mind. Get rhythm. You got the blues. Only talk about a diamond shoe, $2 million good for you, get rhythm. You got the blues. I sat down, listened to the shoe shine boy. I thought I was going to jump the joy. Flapped on the shoe, popped left and right, popped the shoe shine rig, and I held it tight. He stopped once to wipe his sweat away. I knew the boy to be working that way. Said I like it with the big wide rim, popped the shoe shine rig, and he said, yeah, rhythm. You got the blues, get rhythm. You got the blues. Jump your rhythm, make a beat so fine. She called the tip of your word mine. Get rhythm. You got the blues. Well, thank you very much. This song I'm about to do for you now is a very special song because this is the song that got Johnny Cash barred from the Grand Ole Opry. There are those amongst us in this room here even tonight that would say Johnny Cash used to drink too much. I don't think so either. Well, it is a fact he had had a few to drink the night he showed up at the Ryman Theater. He just got his hands on this new song and he was quite excited about it. And he got a little carried away and he stomped out all the footlights. These are my footlights, I won't be stomping on them. And the song has nothing to do with stomping about footlights, but I guarantee you, you've heard this song. Well, my daddy left home when I was 3 and it didn't leave much for my mom and me. Just an old guitar, empty bottle of booze. I don't care that he running head, but the meanest thing that he ever did is before he left, he went to ABC. He must have thought that was a pretty good joke, and it got a lot of laughs from a lot of folks. Seems I had to fight my whole life through. Some gal would giggle and I turned red, some guy laughing, I bust his head. Things just ain't that easy for a boy named Sue. I grew up quick and I grew up mean. My fists got hard, my wits got keen. I rode from town to town to hide my shame. But I swore by the moon and stars I'd search those honky-tonks and bars. I'd find that mangy weasel that named me Sue. Well, it was Gatlinburg in mid-July. I rode into town, my throat was dry. Thought I'd stop and have myself a brew. There on a street of mud, sitting at a table dealing stud, was that mangy rat that wouldn't name me Sue. I knew that snake was my own sweet dad. By all the photograph that my ma had, I recognized the scar on his cheek and his evil eye. He was big and bad, gray and old, and I looked at him, my blood run cold, and I said, my name is Sue. How do you do? Now you are gonna die. Well, I hit him one right between the eyes. He went down. To my surprise, come up with a knife and he cut off a chunk of my ear. So I busted a chair out of lost his teeth and went through the wall out into the street, kicking and gouging in the mud and the blood and the bleed. Well, I fought tougher, man, but I really don't remember when. He kicked like a mule and he bit like a crocodile. I heard him laugh and I heard him cuss. He went for his gun, but I drew mine first. And he stood there in the street, I seen him smile. He said, son, this world is rough. You're going to make it, you got to be tough. And I knew I wouldn't be around to help you along. So I gave you that name, I said goodbye. I knew you'd have to get tough or die. You know it's that name that make you strong. Now you just fought one hell of a fight, and I know you hate me, and you have the right to kill me now. I wouldn't blame you if you do. But you ought to thank me before I die for the gravel in your gut and the spit in your eye. I'm the mangy weasel that named you Sue. What could I do? What could I do? What could I do? I got all choked up. I threw down my gun, I called him my pa, he called me his son, and I went away with a different point of view. I think about him every now and then, every time I try, every time I win it. If I ever have a boy, I'm going to name him Ralph or Sparky, anything. Terrible name. Thank you very much. Well, I told you Johnny Cash is in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, didn't I?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, well, you know, rock and roll, back when Johnny Cash was getting started back in 1953, there was only one kind of rock and roll. That was kind of a music that had a nice beat you could dance to and you still understood the words. Times have kind of changed. Well, they've taken rock and roll and diced it up into 15, 20, 30 different kind of categories nowadays. And so by today's standards, if you took this Johnny Cash song, by today's standards, this would be considered a heavy metal funk acid song. But probably, back in 1953, this song aggravated the parents just as much as the ones do today, I would think. They seem a little tame by today's standards, so.
Dream on, teenage queen, prettiest girl I've ever seen.
There's a story in our town about the prettiest girl around. Hair of gold and eyes of blue, how those eyes would flash at you. Boys hung around her by the score, cause she loved the boy next door who worked at the candy store. She's tops and all they said never once went to her head. She had everything it seemed, everything was teenage queen. All the boys were out her door. She loved the boy next door who worked at the candy store. He would marry her next spring, he saved his money, bought a ring. Then one day a talent scout came to town to take her out. Hollywood cut off her board, so she left the boy next door who worked at the candy store. Pretty soon she was a star, swimming pool and fancy car. Swimming pool and fancy around, but she missed her old pal. At her door, all except the boy next door who worked at the candy store. Then one day our teenage star sold her house and sold her car. Gave them all her wealth and fame, left it all in called a trade. Do I have to tell you more? She went back to the boy next door who worked at the candy store. And you can hear it all at the candy store. while you got those hands together out there, make welcome to the stage my sweet wife, Miss June Carter's in the house.
People we have here tonight, John. No, I've just been rushing around. I just couldn't hardly wait to get out here and say hi to everybody. Hi!
Well, you got to watch that rushing around like that. You can cause yourself an accident.
I have never had an accident my whole life.
Wait now, June, come on now. Think about that statement there. You never had an accident. Never.
No, never.
Never?
No,
never.
No, never. Well, there was that time last year when that mean old bull threw me over that fence.
You don't call that an accident?
No, I think he really did it on purpose. I guess you heard about Grandpa's hearing aid.
No, what's happened to Grandpa?
Grandpa got a hearing aid.
Yeah.
He did. He got a hearing aid finally. And you know, he had about 2 weeks and he couldn't hear as well as he could hear before he got the hearing aid.
Mm-hmm.
So he went back to the doctor, and the doctor said, Grandpa, he said, do you realize you got a suppository in your ear? He said, I think I remember where I put that hearing aid. Sing a song, John. Oh yeah, I had to take your hound dog to the doctor.
You took my dog to the vet?
I did.
Yeah, well what's the matter with my dog?
Would you believe that hound dog swallowed a bullet?
My dog swallowed a bullet? What did the vet say?
He said, well, don't point him at me. Let's sing a song, John. Oh, y'all gonna know this one. Sing along.
We got married in a fever, talking like a pepper sprout. We've been talking about Jackson ever since the bar went down. I'm going to Jackson.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna fool around. I'm going to Jackson. Look out, Jackson. Now what do you think about that?
Going down to Jackson. Go ahead and make your head. Don't bang up there. Keep it going. Better make a big fool of yourself. Well, go down to Jackson. Well, first go comb that hair.
I'm gonna snowball, Jackson.
Well, go ahead and see my hair.
Well, I breeze into that city. All them women's gonna stoop and bow. All them women gonna make me teach them what they don't know how. I'm going to Jackson. Turn loose of my coat. I'm going to Jackson.
Well, that's all you know. And after you in Jackson, now they're dancing on a point cake. Well, they run you out of town like a skull hound. If your tail tricks the things you go back. Well, go down to Jackson. You ain't talking back. I'll be waiting there in Jackson. Behind my jet band. We got married in a fever. Colored in a pepper sprout. We've been talking about Jackson ever since the bar went out.
I'm going to Jackson.
Oh yeah,
That's a fact. I'm going to Jackson.
never coming back.
I mean it, Gene. I'm going to Jackson next time. All your begging not slowing me down.
All right, John, go ahead and go to Jackson. Just go right ahead. Don't let the door hit you. Don't let the door hit you when you leave, John. Don't be calling me up on the telephone and asking me to buy a Greyhound bus ticket for you to come home again.
I mean it this time.
I am not buying no Greyhound bus ticket.
I only have one time.
Oh, yeah. Woo! You know, before we do this next song, John, I'd like to tell them a little story about this song. Now, the first time I ever laid eyes on John here, I was singing at the Grand Ole Opry with my mama, Maybelle Carter, and my sisters, and John here came to the Grand Ole Opry, the Raoul Ryman Theater, you know, and he was on a high school graduation trip. Yeah. And you do it. And he came backstage after the show, and he said, I'm a really big fan of the Carter family. You know, the Carter family were the first people to ever play gospel music on the radio. And he was a gospel musician, John was, and oh, he grew up playing gospel music, sitting on the front porch with his mama and singing those old songs. And he looked right at me. And he said, June Carter, I'm a really big fan of yours. He said, I'm going to marry you someday. I said, Lord have mercy. It's just what I don't need in my life.
What she actually said was, can you read lips?
But I guess those eyes of his burned a hole in my heart, because I went home that night and I wrote the words to this song. And this is a true story, y'all. Johnny Cash did not know the song, who wrote the song, or that it was written about him until well after he recorded it. He heard it, my sister Nita recorded it, and she had the voice of an angel. And he said, I'm going to record that song. And so when I wrote the song, well, it was kind of like this. Love is a bird flame, it's made of fiery rain. Does that ring a bell? Yeah. Well, Johnny Cash got a hold of it. This is what he did with it.
Love is a burden man. It makes up fiery rain. Wild desire, I fell into ring of fire. I fell into ring of fire. Down, down, down. Flame went higher and burn. A ring of fire, a ring of fire. Love is sweet when hearts like ours meet. I fell for you like a child. Oh, far away heart. days of 1973, Johnny Cash and June Carter had the #1 television show in the whole world. Anybody wanted to be on the Johnny Cash Hour. And during that short period of time, they made a lot of people's career. There was one guy that Johnny Cash ran into while he was doing a show at Folsom Prison. And he told him, if you ever get out of this place, stop by and see me, and I'll see if I can't do something for you. Johnny's heard a knock on his dressing room door. In come Merle Haggard. Hey, you still gonna put me on the TV show? He said, yeah, I am. And he did. And everyone knew who Merle was. Another guy, they was filming this thing up in New York City, and if you ever been part of a TV show or movie, anything like that, well, there's a whole bunch of hurry up and wait involved in it. You gotta wait for them to move the cameras around and move the lights and get it all set up, and it takes a lot of time sometimes. And Johnny liked to kind of wander around town a little bit during all this process. And one day he came back from wandering around town, told his producer, there's a guy down in Greenwich Village playing at a coffee house down there. And he wrote some great songs, and I want to put him on the show. The guy said, well, what's his name? He said, Bob Dylan. He said, he's really good. He said, yeah, I heard of him, though. He's a hippie. You don't have no hippies on the show, do you? He says, man, I do for a fact, and if he ain't on, I ain't on. So he was on. And from then on, everyone knew who Bob Dylan was. Johnny and June recorded several of Bob's songs, and Johnny and Bob put the songs together. This song right here, written by Bob, won a Grammy for them, for Johnny Cash and June Carter.
From my window, leave at your own children sleep. I'm not the one you want me. I'm not the one you need. Well, you say you're looking for someone who's never weak, always strong, to protect you and defend you, whether you are right or wrong. Someone open each and every door. It ain't me, babe. No, 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 it ain't me, babe. It ain't me, you're looking for, babe. Like me on the ledge, babe. Like me on the ground. I'm not what you want me. I'll only bring you down. When you say you're looking for someone who will promise never to part, someone to close his eyes to you, someone to close his heart, someone to offer you and more. It ain't me, babe. No, 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 it ain't me, babe. It ain't me you're looking for, babe. You say you're looking for someone to pick you up each time you fall, to gather flowers constantly and to come each time you call, to love you all your life and nothing more. It ain't me, babe. No, 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 it ain't me. It ain't me you're looking for, hey.
first started singing with Johnny, called me up and wanted me to be in the band, and I said, first started singing with Johnny, I told him, Johnny, would you hold my hands when I'm singing then? He said, well, that sounds good. I said, that way I know where your hands are. The truth. All right.
I'm not going to tell that. I got to tell the joke here for this next song here. There was a new preacher in town that looked just like Conway Twitty. Anybody remember Conway Twitty? What a great country singer, but that's beside the point. The preacher looked just like Conway Twitty. He was going from house to house, knocking on doors, trying to get someone to come to Sunday service. Well, the first house he went to, the little old lady came to the door. As soon as she opened the door, she saw us here. He says, Conway Twitty. He said, no, ma'am. I'm just a new preacher in town, but I want you to come to Sunday school. She said, I sure will be there. Well, the next house he went to, same thing happened. Little old lady came to the door, opened the door, saw him. Conway Twitty. No, ma'am. I am just a new preacher, but I want you to be at church this Sunday. She said, I sure will be there. Well, the third house he went to, just so happened it was a new school teacher that just moved to town. Beautiful blonde-headed woman. Just so happened she was in the shower when he knocked on the door. Well, she put a towel around herself and run to the front door. As soon as she opened that door, she saw him. She got so excited, she dropped her towel. She said, Conway Twitty. He said, hello, darling.
All right, now we're going to get to do one makeup for that. One for the Carter family.
I remember when I was glad, time apart, and I was bad. There's a silver light about each and every cloud. Just four people, that's all we were, trying to make a living off that land. We'd been together in the evening singing loud. That is saying, baby,
Mama singing tenor,
and the blues all night and day.
singing to hell the trouble.
One of these days that won't be long, I'm gonna join their song. I'll join that family circle at the throne. Well, circle, walking from there, by and by, Lord, by and by. That is saying, baby,
Mama singing tenor,
and the blues all night and day. In the sky, Lord, in the sky. I remember after work, Mama would call and all. You'd hear her singing for country boy. Little brothers don't go home, I'm gonna join him in a song. I'll join that family circle at the road. Daddy saying, baby,
Mama singing tenor,
be little brother John riding there. Sing the hell the trouble. One of these days that won't be long, I'll join in a song. I'll join that family circle at the throne. Well, a circle won't be broken. By and by, then sing me.
Mama singing tenor,
Be little brother Joe night and day in the sky, Lord, in the sky. In the sky, Lord, in the sky. Oh, I tell you what, Florida is no place for a Johnny Cash coat.
well, it's freezing today.
It's freezing.
It is.
You can take this coat and walk outside.
All right, take it off, John. Take it off. Take it off, John. Look at you. All right. You look better with it on.
Trust me, the more meat you cover up, the better I look.
That's right.
Well, I'll tell you what, here's another one. You know, Gene Carter's quite the songwriter.
Guitar picker, you ain't leaving without me.
Well, take my woman,
You lonely guitar picking man.
oh, we can work this out.
I think we can.
I stole the whole diamond trying to get you to shut your mouth.
How am I gonna wear it, John? I gotta hide it out.
Take my woman,
You lonely guitar picking man.
well, we can work this out.
I think we can. I gave you my love and everything. You're still what you are. You lonely guitar picking man.
Well, we can work this out.
I think we can.
I bought you a first class ticket on a luxury liner cruise.
I got out in the ocean, looked around, and there was you.
My woman,
You lonely guitar picking man.
well, we can work this out.
I think we can.
We'll work it out quicker if you behave.
Oh, no, you're the one. You ain't the one, Johnny Cash. You need to behave a whole lot better than you do. And that's the truth. I gotta go. Bye, everybody. Thank you.
All right, is anybody in here, you remember a guy named Chris Christopherson? Chris Christopherson, what a great songwriter, don't you think? You know what, if it wasn't for Johnny Cash, there might never have been a Chris Christopherson songwriter. Or, well, there would have been a songwriter, but he might never got his songs out. And what the deal was, you see, Chris was working as a janitor in a recording studio in Nashville, Tennessee. And he was slipping tapes to Johnny Cash. Johnny was there recording. And the owner of the studio caught him and said, "Chris, if I catch you doing that again, I'm going to fire you." So he started slipping them to June. Well, either June wasn't giving them to Johnny or Johnny wasn't listening to him because nothing was happening for Chris. Now, Chris also had another talent in that he was a helicopter pilot with the Air National Guard. One day he had had a few too many beers at happy hour, that he borrowed a helicopter from the Armory, flew it over to Johnny Cash's house and landed it in his front yard. Johnny was curious. He come walking out that helicopter. About the time he got out there, Chris decided he'd get out of the helicopter, opened the door, fell out on his head, rolled about 3 times, and come up with a cassette tape. He said, "I have your next hit right here." Johnny Cash said, "Boy, I like your style. Come in the house, let's have a beer." Listen to that tape. They listen to the tape. Johnny Cash said, "I can't believe it. You told my whole life story on one side of a cassette. I promise you, I will record that song." And he did record that song. It's been recorded over and over so many times, a lot of people never knew or forgot that Johnny Cash was the first ever to record this thing. But Johnny Cash is the man that got Chris Christopherson out of the janitorial business into the songwriting business. And this is the song that did it right here. Johnny Cash. up Sunday morning, no way to hold my head, it didn't hurt. And the beer I had for breakfast tasted good, so I had one more dessert. I fumbled through the closet, threw my clothes and found my cleanest dirty shirt. I washed my face and combed my hair, stumbled out the door to meet the day. I broke my mind the night before, all the cigarettes and songs I'd been kicking. I stopped beside a park, watched a small kid with a can that he was kicking. I walked on down the lane, caught the Sunday smell of someone frying chicken. And it took me back to something I'd lost somewhere somehow along the way. On a Sunday morning sidewalk, wishing for that I was told. There's something in a Sunday makes somebody keep it home. And there's nothing short of dying. I've been lonesome myself, all asleep in city sidewalk. Sunday morning coming down. In the park I saw a daddy with a laughing little girl. He was swinging. I stopped beside a Sunday school. I listened to the choir as they were singing. I walked on down the lane. Somewhere a lonely bell was ringing. But it took me back to something I'd lost somewhere somehow. On a Sunday morning sidewalk, wishing, Lord, that I was home. There's something in the it's so hard to be alone. There's nothing short of dying. I've been lonesome myself on the sleeping city sidewalk. Sunday morning. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Johnny Cash, he was born in a one-room shack in Kingsland, Arkansas. He wanted out of there so bad, he joined the military to get out of there, to keep from having to pick cotton. He even wrote a song called I Hate Picking Cotton. They sent him to Germany right off the bat, and he bought his first guitar over there for $5. Started writing a song, Gonna Be a Big Star, when he got back to Memphis. He got back to Memphis, had to take a job as a door-to-door vacuum cleaner salesman. Man, he hated that job, but he heard they were making a ton of money up in Detroit. He went up to Detroit, got a job on an assembly line. He hated that worse than selling vacuum cleaners. He came back to Memphis, but he lucked up when he got back to Memphis and met Sam Phillips and started writing songs and singing. Everything smoothed out for a little while for Johnny Cash. But he got some great material for a great song while he was up there. And I want to share that song with you right now. This is a song Johnny wrote while he was working on the assembly line. Well, I left Kentucky Kentucky back in 49. I went to Detroit working on the assembly line. First year I spent putting wheels on Cadillacs. Every day I'd watch them beauties roll by, and sometimes I'd hang my head and cry, 'cause I always wanted the one that was long and black. I devised myself a plan. It'd be the envy of most any man. I'd sneak it out in a lunchbox in my hand. Now getting caught meant getting fired. I figured I'd had it all by the time I retired. Have me a car worth at least $100 grand. You know how I'd get it? I'd get it one piece at a time. Wouldn't cost me a dime. You know it's me if I go through your town. I'm gonna ride around in style, drive everybody wild. I'll have the only one there is around. Now the first day when I checked in with my big lunch box and help from my friends I left that day with a lunchbox full of gears. I never considered myself a thief, but gee, I wouldn't miss just one little piece, especially if I stowed it out over several years. The next day I got me a big fuel pump, then I got an engine in the trunk, then I got a transmission and all the chrome. The little stuff we got in my big lunchbox, like nuts and bolts and all four shocks. The big stuff we snuck out in my buddy's mobile home. Up to now, everything was all right till we tried to put it together one night. Then we realized that something was definitely wrong. Cause the motor was a 53 and the transmission was a 63. And when we put the bolts in, all the holes were gone. Well, we drilled out the holes so the bolts would fit with a little bit of help from the adapter kit. We had that motor running just like a song. The headlights, they were quite a sight. We had 3 on the front, 2 on the right. When we pulled the switch out, all 5 of them come on. The rear end looked a little funny too when we put it together at Mommy's Dude, but I swear it only had one great big tail fin. About then, my wife come out. I can see in her eyes she had her doubt. She hopped in the back and said, "Y'all take me for a spin." Well, we headed uptown to get the tags, and I drove straight up that big main drag. You could hear them laughing at me for miles around. At the courthouse, they didn't like it. Cause they riding up and took the whole stack. And when they was through, the title weighed 40 pounds. I got it one piece at a time. Wouldn't cost me a dime. You know it's me when I go through your town. I'm gonna ride around in style, drive everybody wild. I'll have the only one there is around. Wait, I'm getting a call on my CD. You remember y'all remember CDs? Before cell phone for that? Yeah, good buddy, come back. Red Rider, is that you? Yeah, this is the Psycho Billy Cadillac coming at you. Yeah, what is that? The cost of this automobile. Well, you might say I drove up to the factory and picked it up. They're cheaper that way, you know. What's that? The year of this car? Funny you should ask. It's a 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57 automobile. 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 2003. And that's how Johnny Cash and Patsy Cline ended up doing a tour together in 1961. Now we're going to reproduce a little bit of that tonight. I think we are. Is Patsy back there? Patsy Cline.
Baby, when me that it's time to rock. Got a lot of rhythm in my soul. All right, kick it, boys. Big fat beat with a crazy bop when lights are low, music's hot, dancing 2 and 3 and then a 4:30. And when that song beats over the hill, and we won't stop till we're rockin' still. Got a lot of rhythm in my soul. Well, come on, now let's go tonight again. Baby, baby, when you hold me tight, ooh wee, what you do to me, big black hand on the clock, tell me that it's time to rock. Got a lot of rhythm in my soul. Well, come on, daddy, let's go tonight. Baby, baby, when you hold me tight, ooh wee, what you do to me, big black hand on the clock, tell me that it's time to rock. Got a lot of rhythm in my soul. Got a lot of rhythm in my soul. Thank you so much. Well, now, Patsy Cline was in the hospital. We almost lost Patsy 2 years before we lost Patsy. She was in an automobile accident. She laid up in that hospital for months. And she had a song climbing the charts. And that's when she joined with Johnny Cash. And she heard this sweet little voice singing this song, her song, over the radio as a tribute to her. She said, "Who is that girl singing that song?" And they said, "Well, that's a young girl in town. Her name's Loretta Lynn." She said, "Well, I want to meet that girl." So they brought Loretta Lynn to her bedside, and they became the very closest of friends. And this song was on the charts for 38 weeks. So let's do this song. Oh, you're gonna remember that. I fall to pieces each time I see you again. I fall to pieces. How can I be just your friend? You want me to act like we never kissed. You want me to forget, pretend we never met. Well, I tried and I tried, I haven't yet. You are fine and I fall to pieces. As you walk by and I fall to pieces. Is there anybody here tonight old enough to remember a guy named Arthur Godfrey? Well, you know, Arthur Godfrey made Patsy's career. He did. He had her on the Arthur Godfrey Talent Scout program. Now, that was the #1 show, Talent Scout program, and her manager, Win Bradley, he called her up and she said, "Patsy, honey, Arthur Godfrey's going to put you on his show and you're going to be a big star." And she was all excited. He was all excited. He said, "I got a song that's going to make you a star." He couldn't wait to send it over to her. And he sent it right over to her. She couldn't wait to get it. And she listened to it. And she said, "I hate that song." She said, "I ain't going to sing that song. That ain't nothing but a little top tune. I'm a hillbilly singer." But she did do the song. Good thing she did the song. When she did the song on Arthur Godfrey's Talent Scout program, the applause were so strong that they broke the applause meter. True story. Yeah. So, let's do this song. Maybe you remember this. I go out walking after midnight, out in the moonlight, just like we used to do. I go out walking after midnight, searching for you. I walk a mile along the highway. That's just my way of saying I love you. I go out walking after midnight, searching for you. I stop to see which fellow right on our pillow. I wonder if she's crying for me. As the night turns gloomy, night winds whisper to me, all the night I can be. I run over here after midnight, out in the moonlight, just hoping you might be somewhere out walking after midnight, searching for me. Stop to see which fellow right on our pillow. I wonder if she's crying for me. As the night turns gloomy, night winds whisper to me, lonesome as I can be. I'm walking after midnight, out in the moonlight, just hoping you might be somewhere out walking after midnight, searching for me. While I'm up here, before I leave, what's your favorite Patsy Cline song? Crazy.
You really ought to work that song.
Yeah, I'm gonna learn that song. You know, Patsy, when she first heard this song, she said, "I don't like that song." She said, "Who wrote that song anyway?" They said, "Well, it's a new songwriter in town named Willie Nelson." She said, "Well," she looked at his picture, she said, "He don't look like much." She said, "My goodness, sings before the beat, after the beat, around it, my goodness." Well, Patsy worked all day long trying to sing this song like Willie sang it. And at the end of the day, her and Willie had really become good friends. And Willie said, "Patsy, honey," he said, "just make it your own." And she did. It's a good thing. It became the #1 jukebox hit.
And what was the name of the song originally?
Oh, it wasn't crazy, it was stupid. It's true. I'm stupid. Stupid for feeling so lonely.
They changed that.
They changed it. Crazy for feeling so lonely. I'm crazy for feeling so blue. Oh, I knew you love me. Has long now you wandered, and then someday for somebody. Why do I let myself crazy that my love could hold you. I'm crazy for crying, crazy for trying, and I'm crazy for loving you. Crazy that my love could hold you. I'm crazy for crying, crazy for trying, and I'm crazy
Well, I got a very special Johnny Cash song to do for you guys here. Now, this is a special Johnny Cash above all. Him and Gene both the great patriots. And since we are at the Elks Club, what better song to play than this? When you hear this every 4th of July, Memorial Day, I bet you didn't know that Johnny Cash wrote this song. It goes like this. Well, I was walking through a courthouse square, and on a park bench, an old man was sitting there. I said, "Your courthouse is kindly run down." He said, "Well, it'll do for our little town." I said, "Man, your flagpole kindly leans a little bit, and that is a ragged old flag you got hanging on it." He said, "Have a seat." So I sat down. He said, "Is this the first time you've been to our little town?" I said, "I think it is." He said, "Well, I don't like to brag, but we're kind of proud of that ragged old flag. Do you see that hole in that flag there? You got that when Washington crossed the Delaware. And that burn it got when Francis Scott Key sitting watching it and writing, oh say, can you see? It got a bad tear down in New Orleans when Pakenham and Jackson tugged it at its seams, and it almost fell at the Alamo beside the Texas flag, but it waved on though. It got cut with a sword at Chancellorsville. It got cut again at Shiloh Hill, and there was Robert E. Lee and Beauregard and Bragg. The south wind blew hard on the ragged old flag. At Flanders Field in World War I, she got a bad hole from a Bertha gun. She turned blood red in World War II, hung limp and low for a time or two. She went to Korea, she went to Vietnam, she went where she was sent by her Uncle Sam. Native Americans, red, yellow, white, they all shed red blood for our stars and stripes. She guarded over our ships on the briny foam, but do you know they almost quit waving her here at home? In her own land, she's been abused. She's been burned, denied, refused. And the government for which she stands is scandalized throughout the land. She's getting threadbare. She's wearing thin. But she's in mighty good shape for the shape she's in. So we put her up each morning. And we take her down each night. We don't let her touch the ground. And we fold her upright. You know, as a matter of fact, I do like to brag. Oh, I'm mighty damn proud of that ragged old